I want to tell you what really happened when I started putting myself through my own course content. This is really hard for me to say right now, but I know sharing this is going to help so many other people. The module that I was working through was releasing mother wound, father wound, sister wound, witch wound, and brother wound. How I initially went into this was through EFT tapping. Now, what happens when I do EFT tapping, that is the first part, and then comes the actual emotions, feelings, and comes to the surface. Now, with that, I have a 3-year-old, and we know that our children are mirrors of us. So what happened when I started bringing up all of these wounds was that my daughter started mirroring was just a disaster. She is normally the most amazing angel. She sleeps, eats, was the best baby. I had the best pregnancy. And so when I was bringing up all these wounds, she was just out of control, so naughty for weeks. And that is just not normal for her. She was in daycare 4 days per week at this point. We're trying to toilet train her as well, which means she's doing wheeze on the toilet, but she wasn't doing poos on the toilet. It was at this point, even my behaviour, I could recognise that I was being my mum. I went into a lower timeline and all of these feelings were coming up, and I could see me being my mum, and I think it was at this point I was doing my 6-week course for Dragon Codes, and I had a kinesiology session with Libby, and what came up was self-doubt and confusion, and it was all when I was 3. Keep in mind, my daughter is 3. It was all coming up, and it was just crazy how I was mimicking my mum's behaviour. At this point, I was like, this is the cycle that I need to break. And so I pulled my daughter out of daycare 2 days, so she's only in there 2 days a week. It made me reevaluate everything, and when I pulled her out, I get to spend this time with her now. And that's what I wanted all along. I didn't realise that I had chained myself to my own desk at home, and that's not the life that I wanted. I wanted to be able to spend time with my daughter and teach her things. So pulling her out was the best thing I could have done. And I knew she wasn't feeling supported or loved or competent. She was having her own self-doubt, which is why she couldn't poo in the toilet. I pulled her back out. Literally the next day, she pooed in the toilet. And she's consistently been pooing in the toilet for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I am also now the happiest I've ever been. And it was this whole ascension of just breaking that cycle. And I know for a fact that my mum always had me in daycare, always had me in after-school care. And she would take holidays when we were at school.